Hi, and welcome to the Packer TV. I'm Dean Cooper. Tamara is on location in Orlando for Fresh Summit, and we'll check in with her a little later in the show. Here's what else you'll see on the show today. The West Mexico season arrives, Classic Salad debuts a new organic salad line, and we'll preview our coverage of PMA. It's only October, but Western correspondent Tom Burfield reports some winter produce from West Mexico is already arriving at Nogales, Arizona warehouses. Jaime Chamberlain, president of JC Distributing and chairman of the Fresh Produce Association of the Americas Trade Group, is optimistic about the coming season.
We're looking at a great 2010-2011 produce season here for Nogales, Arizona. We should be starting up within the next couple of weeks with Italian squashes and melons coming up here soon. We should have great quality coming up this year, and we're looking forward to good prices and good volume.
Some distributors already received their first honeydews and watermelons of the season the first week of October, and several kinds of squash also were in evidence. The peak of the West Mexico produce season runs from mid-January through mid-April. Classic Salads has debuted its new organic salad line at Produce Marketing Association's Fresh Summit as part of the company's expanded presence in retail. The line includes clamshells and bags of spring mix, sweet baby lettuces, baby spinach, baby romaine, baby arugula, and fresh herb mix. John Burge, VP of Sales and Marketing, tells the Packers' Mike Hornick that capacity is about 100,000 cases per week, and the products should appear in stores by November the 1st. He adds that much of the California-based company's current retail organic business is in Canada. As we mentioned earlier, Tamara is in Orlando for Fresh Summit. She caught up with Greg Johnson for a sneak peek at coverage you'll see here on the Packer TV in the coming weeks. Take it away, Tamara.
Thanks, Dean. As you can see, the weather here in Florida is amazing, but it's not all about taking in the sights. Greg, what are some things that viewers of the Packer can expect to see here?
Well, Fresh Summit is famous for introducing new products. I'm sure we'll see some of those, and we'll bring those to you in upcoming cast. And of course, traceability has been a hot topic the past few months. We'll hear about some of their new initiatives and new plans.
Yeah, and we'll also be speaking with industry experts and going to all the workshops. So if you couldn't make it down here, we'll have all the highlights so you'll never miss a thing.
Back to you, Dean.
Results from a recent survey were also released at Fresh Summit. The findings have grower and importer farmers best saying U.S. retailers don't emphasize tomatoes enough in their fresh produce departments. Spokeswoman Veronica Krausar says tomatoes should account for 10 to 12% of sales in a typical retailer's produce department. Instead, we found that retailers are settling for 6 to 7%. The Farmer's Best sponsored study, Maximizing Tomato Marketing Guidebook, details how different types of tomatoes appeal to specific age and income groups, and how ripeness is usually consumers' top criteria for selection. Andy Nelson has our next story about how the eastern apple crop is smaller than normal and still meeting strong demand.
Demand for eastern apples is very strong this fall, with volumes lower than many growers expected. Jim Allen of the New York Apple Association tells me eastern storage supplies this season could be down as much as 18%. In the second week of October, Gala 80s from New York were selling for $22 to $26. Macintoshes were $20 to $24. Volumes at Rice Fruit Company are expected to be 15% lower than last season, Rice's Brenda Briggs tells me. Early in the season, Rice typically sees strong demand for Galas and Honeycrisps, Briggs says. This year, however, all varieties have been flying out of sheds. For the Packer TV, this is Markets Editor Andy Nelson.
We end today's show with an opinion piece from Fred Wilkinson about the Washington Potato Commission's Chris Voigt's potato-only diet. Tell us more, Fred.
People don't want to be marketed to in the traditional way. They want to be part of a conversation or experience. One marketer who gets this is Washington State Potato Commission Executive Director Chris Voigt. Aiming to bring attention to the health benefits of potatoes and to the fact that the WIC federal feeding program excludes white potatoes, Voigt launched a 60-day diet of nothing but spuds. He is sharing the daily ins and outs of his spectacular journey online at 20potatoesaday.com. Voigt's efforts underscore the great leveling effect made possible by reaching an audience via the web. Maybe after the conclusion of Voigt's 2-month tuber diet, we can look forward to the Commission offering a cookbook of recipes he enjoyed during his diet. This is Fred Wilkinson for the Packer Editorial Board.
Thanks, Fred. Now that does it for the Packer TV Today. If you couldn't make it to Florida, or even if you did, be sure to tune in to our next cast for all the highlights from PMA's Fresh Summit. Until then, have a great week. We'll see you next time.